Alrighty. Let's get into it, shall we? So, welcome back, everybody. It's been a little while. Not too long, but a little while. I've been playing Battlefield 6. It's been good fun. That is what has been keeping me busy. Trying to do all that sort of gaming with the boys, get the challenges done, you know how it goes. That's what I've been doing. So I've been a little bit slack when it comes to painting. And it is a bit late here, so we'll see how far we can get tonight on a quick little stream. See what we can get painted up. So we're going to continue on with our Dark Angels dudes. I'm going to highlight up some of the leather. Bunblood. Late it is, and is indeed. It's already 11 o'clock and I've only just hit go. How are you, mate? Hello. Yeah, so maybe it might go to midnight, 12:30 if we're lucky. We'll see how far we get on our paint job. So I did a bit of work offline too, so like I popped a few washes on and was just kind of experimenting with what I thought would look good, seeing what I'd end up being happy with. But because I think I've done two different things so far on our dudes. So our first dude that we painted up, this one here, we did a oil wash. This one, is it this one? No, the one we're currently highlighting was a wash of Nuln oil, and then I'm thinking I might do like an enamel wash for the other one. We'll see. Rah. Hey mate, how you going? I am very well, thanks mate. Haven't been a bit slack on the hobbying front, to be honest. I've been too busy playing Battlefield. It's good fun. Tin Clash, how are ya? But how have you been? What's been happening? Yeah, wonky sword dude makes an appearance. Honestly, I don't think there's a solution for him. I tried bending it back a little bit, but it was no good. It's probably going to be alright for the highlight, to be honest. Just a little touch up. I probably want to add some highlights onto the robe and the tabard, the purity seal, so we'll do that. You haven't played since Battlefield 4, you're having a blast. Hell yeah, that's what I want to hear. Sorry, thought I heard someone was knocking on my door. It must be a bit loud. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not talking too loud. Yeah, I haven't played since Battlefield 3. That's how long it's been for me. And I'm having a good time too. It is a really good game. Tin Clash. What hero do I have for this army? So this is a commission job, so it's not mine, but I think, because it's the same guy, I've painted a few things for him before. He's got the lion, so the lion will be his champion for his Dark Angels army. That's for sure. He's also got Azrael, and he's got Master Lazarus for a few of the other dudes. It's like a full battle force that he's got going on. That's alright, just something like that. I think is what we want to go for the highlight. Might be a little bit bright, so I'll use like a layer of Carrick Stone to dull that brightness down a little bit. Bunblood is stuck in the 2000s video games. Look, I feel like they made them better back then, you know? I want to play Modern Warfare 2. That was like my peak gaming. Like, that was so good. I love that. Ryan M, how are you, dude? What's happening? Thank you, dude. You like the base color. I appreciate it. Are you going to play Helldivers on Xbox, Rara? Never played Helldivers. I kind of missed the hype, and then it kind of died. I don't know. Kind of went away, which was a bit of a shame. I did want to play, but don't know. So we're going to add a couple more highlights too. We're going to do reddish grey on the black. That's going to be our next step. Have you also done Age of Sigmar or Old World? Tin Clash, I have done Age of Sigmar, a couple of models, but mainly paint 40k. So like, he's like a random Death Rattle skeleton. The base is not complete, but most of him is. So I do have a few floating around. Just odd models here and there that I think look cool. Alrighty. Just going to do a couple of edge highlights with this. And then I think we're going to try that enamel wash over the black and see. Third time's a charm, I reckon. Mediocre painter. Hey mate, what's happening? Here comes everyone else. I know, how good. Tuning in for a late Friday evening painting sesh. How many do you have? You've been painting them for days and days. Green Knight. Yeah, I mean, I've literally only been painting most of them on the stream. There's not that many. I'm just a slow-ass painter, dude. And I've also just been playing Battlefield, as I was saying before, for the last little while, and last weekend as well. So my focus has been elsewhere. But there isn't that many of these dudes, to be honest. I think it's only maybe half a dozen. But we also had to redo some of them because we originally painted them green armor, and then we got asked to paint the armor black. So we redid them. Your boyfriend, Riss. This is a Dark Angels Inner Circle Companion. What do I use for filming? I'd love to throw a camera at my hobby desk to zoom in on some details. Quality is amazing. Ryan, this is literally just my phone. It's an iPhone 14 Pro. just on a little like stand clip thing that I got off like Amazon or something. It was not expensive. I don't even know what it was called. It's like a no name brand thing, just like a phone clip thing. But yeah, I like the quality too. I bought the phone so I could double down and do some filming as well as just a phone. Two birds, one stone, you know. Hey, Bean, your fingers are too large to do that. Ah, that's alright, mate. I mean, you can just keep practicing. It's all about brush control, which you develop over time. Mediocre painter. You finished up your 3 aggressors about 4 to 5 days ago. Now I'm just painting custom objective markers made up of cheap army men bits. Hell yeah, dude. Nice work on the aggressors. Chains. May I ask what gold you use? Certainly. So I have used 2 golds on this model. I've used Necro Gold from scale 75 and also Peridot Alchemy from scale 75 to highlight it. And this is the result. We did do a wash of Nuln Oil, but I feel like it didn't really do what I was hoping. So we're going to do another wash a little later on. Dave, thanks, dude. How do you do your tiny details like the eyes? Needle with ink? No, I use the same paintbrush to do the eyes, mate. It's just got a really good fine tip, and you just got to go nice and slow when you're doing that. Liam, hey mate, appreciate you dropping by. You're a legend. Yeah, Ryan, definitely. Pick up another one. Or pick up a phone to upgrade. It's decent, and I'm sure obviously now they just get better each year. So yeah, worth a shot. That was a bit thick. I don't like that. Let's fix that. Delicious grey paint. What do we get? What chapter, James? Dark Angels. That's the chapter. And your boy Fenris, what's your primary army? Mine's Astral Claws. I don't have a primary army. I don't even have a finished army. I have a lot of Space Marines in boxes. But I'm painting a commission at the moment, so this Dark Angel isn't mine, unfortunately. But yeah, I haven't locked down and committed to an army yet. Maybe one day. Bunblood, you already have to go. That's alright, dude. No problem. Thanks for stopping by. First one in. Legend. Spliff Fiend. Any tips for edge highlighting in general? Edge highlighting, you kind of want to have the paint a bit thicker, so you don't want to thin it down like you normally would if you're doing layering, like that too thin coat sort of ethos. It wants to be a little bit thicker. And I like to try and use the edge of my brush where possible. So let's see if it's not really anywhere of an example. Maybe just on the underside of this shoe. If you use the side of your brush and pull towards you, that is the most easy motion to get that straight line. See that? Because you have a lot more control when you're pulling towards you rather than pushing away. So always try and angle the model so you can pull towards you. So like another bit on this backpack here is if we pull towards us, you can see using the edge of our brush, we can get those tiny little sides just there, and even more down here if we really want to, like this. See how that works? Again, same on this side. So I'm just rotating the model, so I'm always then effectively pulling the brush towards me, like so. I find that's the easiest and best way to edge highlight. Definitely, Ryan, I like the Scale 75 golds. They're really good. And I also like the Vallejo metal color gold mixed with like pigment powders and stuff. You can create some really cool colors with that. So that's that. What we might do is highlight up the cloak just a tad more. So what we were using is painted right next to you guys and the camera. Not that one. We're using dark burgundy. So this bad boy here. And we were also brightening it up with brown rose. Your second camera, can you show us how you have your camera set up to record while painting? I want you to show my friends my figures and how long it takes. It's just on this little like thing. That's the camera. Now we're going to move it, but it's just on like a clip stand. So very easy to set up. And it's just my phone. Someone else asked in the chat before. Just my phone. Nothing fancy, no DSLR. So that burgundy color mixed in with a bit of brown rose, and that'll help highlight up that robe a little bit more. Luke, you want it? Hang on, where is it?
Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne.
Hell yeah, dude. What brushes do I use? I use Kalinsky, Raphael Kalinsky Sable. So these are the two brushes that I use. So this will answer a few people's questions. Phoenix Commander. I paint pretty much all my models with my size 0 Raphael Kalinsky Sable. So I can do all this edge highlighting, the lane for the robes, and also painting eyes. So that it should answer your question about what you should use for the helmet of your dude. Hail the poop legend. Yeah, I know, right? You saw my recent video, so you commented on that too, I think, Luke. Legend. Gamer Bud, hey guys. Thank you. So many kind words in there. Thanks guys. If I don't get to you, I'm sorry. But I do appreciate your comments. So we are thinning it down a little bit with water. And as I said on a previous stream, when you're using this color in particular, it looks a lot brighter as it goes on, and it dries a bit more dull. So you don't need to worry because it kind of looks a little bit too stark sometimes, like the contrast. And that's okay, but it starts to fade away. And even if it doesn't, you can always sort of blend it back in fairly easy. Thanks, Nathan. Nate Storm, have you tried doing Carcharodons? I haven't. Have not, unfortunately. Blood Angels reinforcements of our eyes. This dude gives Blood Angels vibes. I can't explain why. Yeah, dude. I'm a fan of the Blood Angels. I have said that a few times. I just like the color red. That's why I like my Khorne Berserkers as well. And my Flesh Terrors. So that will probably do us on the cloak. Like, we're just wanting quick and nasty looking highlight, which adds a little bit of texture as well. Because when we put the wash on, it will also dull it down a bit and help blend it in. So that should be okay. Just make sure that that I've got all the areas and not missed any bits. Something like that. Should be alright. What the hell was that voice changer? Yeah, dude. It's Khorne just speaking through me. I get possessed every now and again. Ezio, thank you very much, dude. You're a legend. And Dark Lancaster, thank you too. I did paint Blood Ravens when I was a kid, so I think there's an affinity here with Blood Ravens and Blood Angels, or sort of adjacent chapters. So I think could maybe I might put an edge highlight just here. On the other side too. Get this edge. Like that. I think maybe we can give this guy a wash. And I do have another dude as well that I think is ready for a wash too, maybe. Here's another one that I painted off stream, I think. Can't remember. Just looking at him now, this guy actually needs a couple of highlights, so let's do that. And then we can wash two of them at once. Is it a Black Templar? No, dude, this is a Dark Angels Inner Circle Companion. So, again, going back to that burgundy color, I'm just gonna have to work out the color for the highlight, so I'm just kind of testing it a little bit. Seems okay. I just darkened it down a little bit because we couldn't go on with the other one, it's too bright. Thin it down a little bit more. He could be a psycho. Your boyfriend, rest. Look out, mate. You might be on a black ship on your way to Terra, if you are a psycho. So don't go telling people. Be careful. Dark Lancaster, not your style, but I think you could make cool Trench Crusade minis. Dude, I like the Grimdark style. I think I'd go pretty ham with it too. Make them like really gross looking if I ever got my hands on some. Because like this isn't like Grimdark style what we're painting here. I don't even know what you'd call it. It's kind of just my style. But like the proper Grimdark, like you see on the Grimdark Compendium and stuff, dude, some of that looks really cool. I'd love to sort of paint models up like that. Can we get any love for the real good green boys, the salamanders? So many salamanders lovers in this chat that follow me. I don't know what it is. You guys like to be the good guys, huh? Ryan, painting battlesuits, struggling a bit with clean panel lining. Curious if anyone has any tips. So, are you using like a panel liner, like oil or enamel panel liner? If so, you should gloss varnish your mini before doing it because it helps the panel liner run into the crevices a lot easier, and it then also helps with the cleanup too when you're wiping the enamel oil wash away. You want it thin enough that it runs, but you don't want it too thin because otherwise it won't stain your panel, the lines as much as you want. Because you don't want to have to do like 2 or 3 coats of it. You want it one and done type thing. So hopefully that's a little bit of a help. Yeah, definitely gloss varnish if you're panel lining. It makes a hell of a difference. Mad Tony, hey, you got some Space Wolves and painted with streaking grime. I need some inspiration. I don't, unfortunately, but I do have a sneak peek. Where is it? I picked up these bad boys the other day. And these are my own minis, which we will get to at some point. And I cannot wait to paint these guys up. I don't know if I'll paint them up in the traditional blue of the Space Wolves or go for more of a grey look. Maybe more blue because I feel like I paint a lot of white, grey and black models, so it'd be fun to do a different colour. But yes, unfortunately don't have one to show you. I mean, most of my Space Marines here all have streaking grime on them, so this may help for inspo. Like this is a Black Templar that has some streaking grime over it, but it's a different type. Well, it's not actually streaking grime, sorry, it's an enamel wash and just a different shade. This guy I think has streaking grime from memory. So if you imagine this as light, like a grey blue, it might give you some inspo. But yeah, like there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with it. Works on a lot of different dudes, like streaking grime over this guy as well. It's just I just love it. It's a good product. Loga B, love the model, just did model of the month. Nice, dude. Good stuff. see if I can get these. Let me see, I've got a few more comments here. Let me get through them. Sorry, guys. Nice chaplain. Thanks, Bearded Viking. This is Inner Circle Companion, so it's not exactly a chaplain, but he does very much look like one, doesn't he? No worries. Did anyone else struggle to switch? Yeah. Were you struggling to switch to Primaris or just me? I enjoyed the switch. Very much so. I like the new scale. It's an easy one for me. I'm about to buy my first box tomorrow. Electric Tsunami, Salamanders Combat Patrol. How to ensure I fucked them up badly. See, another Salamanders lover. What is this? He's all in here collecting Salamanders. I feel left out. I think my tip for you, mate, don't worry about fucking them up. If it's your first ever model that you've ever painted, something will go wrong, or it won't go to exactly how you envision it, and that's part of the process. Part of the process is just learning through mistakes. Like, I constantly make mistakes. You just want to have fun with it, so I would not stress about trying to not fuck it up, and I would keep the first model that you fully complete out of that as a little reminder trophy dude. So when you get further on in the hobby, you can look back and say, like, this is my first ever model, look how far I've come painting. And it's a bit of a cop-out answer to your question, but there really is no other answer to that. Obviously, you've got your tools ready to go. Just have fun with it. Ryan, do you have any enamel wash tutorials? I haven't messed with them too much, but I have a bottle on my desk. Well, Ryan, you were in luck, because we will whip out an enamel wash on this stream after I finished highlighting up these robes a little bit more. We're going to whip it out and do a wash with the enamels. So you'll see exactly what I do with them. They're very easy to work with. I find the enamels, because they dry a lot quicker than like an oil wash does. And obviously you get the benefits like an oil wash, being able to just wipe it away. Jacob, hey mate, how are you? Thank you, Josh L. Johnson. Donnie, Danielle, what paint are you using? Maybe be careful putting the brush in your mouth. That's alright, Danielle, I get that question a few times. This is non-toxic acrylic paint. Not going to hurt me. But thank you for the concern. Jessica, how are you? Philip, how many hours do I per week do I spend painting? Oh, probably not enough. Particularly this week because I was playing Battlefield. I try and do at least maybe 1 hour of painting a night if I can, because I do a lot of commission painting stuff. So yeah, on the weekends is when I get to paint a lot more. So I try and do a good few hours of painting. But the streams normally go for about an hour to 2 hours if I can. And that would probably be my hobby time for the day. But it's a hard balance because I like hanging out with you guys, but I don't get as much done. So if I'm trying to work towards a deadline, I probably can't turn the camera on as much as I'd like. Just because it's just a lot harder to try and paint in focus like this to make sure that you guys can see what you're doing, what I'm doing, and keeping up with the chat obviously as well, because I don't want to ignore you guys. It's part of the reason I do it, is that we can have a bit of a chat here. You guys can ask questions and stuff and hang out. That'll probably do. I'm not going to go wild with that. Okay, let's do that. Let's do the enamel wash, like I said I would. Not heretical enough for you, hey Luke. Brush lickers unite 100%. No, Daniel, that's all right. No worries. I do appreciate it. The one I'm going to whip out now, you definitely don't want to put in your mouth. The enamel grime, that stuff will fuck with you. So definitely don't want that in anywhere near your mouth. I just need to work out which one. Sorry guys, you're getting tummy shots right now. Because it's on my top shelf. I just don't know what one I've decided to go with just yet. So maybe this one. I'm just looking at the colors. That's kind of like a darker. It might be a bit too grey. I don't want grey. I kind of want more. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's the look that we're going for. Let's do this. It needs a good shake up. I haven't used this one in a long time. Good old, so grey blue camouflage. It's a panel liner, but it's enamel wash, so you can use it for however you want. So let's shake it up. Need to do a bit of a shake. All right, now we're going to swap the palettes, so no more wet palette. Back to Nurgle's palette, which is coming out of the warp. And here it is. It's Nurgle's palette for a reason, because it looks absolutely disgusting. But it works very well, and I love it. So we want to thin it down with a little bit of odorless thinner, this stuff here. So let's do that. I'm just going to do that off screen very quickly. What's the going rate for a box art level named Hero? Hope it's okay to ask. Electric, are you asking for like a commission job? Or like just buying, like for a paint job? If that's the question, I don't have a set rate. I just paint hourly. And that kind of helps. So like a quote on the hour, so depending on how detailed the model is, will determine how much I charge and how much I think it will take me to do. Okay, this is pretty much mixed up on my palette, so let's put it to use. I hope it's the right tone. If not, rip us. I think it's thin enough. Yep. Alright, fuck it, let's do it. Yeah, it's not too bad. That'll do. So, I forget who was asking before. I think it might have been Ryan. Literally all we're doing here is I've put on some thinners, so like squirted in like this. Obviously there's more, a little bit in there. And then dipped my manky ass paintbrush into the bottle of enamel wash, and I've just mixed it together. And that's all I've done so far. And all we're going to do is apply it over the entire model. That's how you use enamel paints. If I was doing multiple of these, I would probably put on a mask, because the fumes from this can get pretty strong. Like if you're doing batch painting, you wouldn't want to be sitting over this and breathing it in for a prolonged period of time, because I've gotten very lightheaded when I first started using that before, and I was like, maybe it's the fumes. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that. So yeah, that would be my safety advice. But because I'm just whacking this on and it's not going to stay under my nasal passage for too long, we can put it to the side. We can go without the mask. And we'll put it on this guy too. So hopefully, as I said, 3rd time's a charm. We did oil wash, we did null oil. Now we're doing enamel. And I think it will be the best out of the 3 for what we're trying to do. Okay. So that's 2 of them done, which is fine. So the way that you clean, I mean, I don't really clean this brush, but if you wanted to, is I just will squirt an extra drop or 2 in there and grab a little bit of paper towel and literally just squeeze it out. But this brush has been through so much shit. I just let the paint dry on there these days because there's no point cleaning it. It's already fucked. That's it. That's all we need to do for the enamel wash so far. We'll let it dry a little bit. We want to keep the odorless thinner on hand because we'll need to use that in a little bit when we start removing in case it gets a bit stubborn. But for now we can put the palette away. Yeah, in terms of the mask, if I can show you guys as well, this is what I'm talking about. I don't even know where it is. Fuck. I cleaned my room up and now it's all gone. Yeah. One of these guys. Bad boys. Get them from your hobby store. From your hardware store. Okay, so we're going to swap out. This was the last one we just did. The first one we did should be dry enough to start wiping away for the areas that we want to remove the paint. So let's grab our makeup removers or applicators, the sponges, and start wiping away. And as I always say, I kind of like the downward swipe motion because it helps leave streaks in a downwards direction, and that kind of adds to a weathered look rather than just random streaks from every which direction. Can look a little bit funny. Not funny haha, funny weird. But you do want to leave it in the crevices, the recesses, nooks and crannies, because it's going to act as our sort of shade for all those areas. I'm going to read through some of the chat here, so I missed a few of them. Luke, our chapter master hobby fiend, is a true blue fair dinkum hobby. Aussie, I sure am. Got a plague question. If I want to end with a really bright pink on some tentacles, what should I work up from? Pardon the ignorance, I'm a machine guy. You can either start with like a red base tone or like a purple, and then if you want blending it into a pink, I think that looks really good. Yeah, I'd go like a red or a purple base up to pink. Would be my suggestion for you, my friend. That's kind of done what we wanted, which is really good. Subtle, but it's there. So we put that one over to the side, whip out our other bad boy. Enamel wash is really good for you, actually. I snort it all the time, and I'm the smartest person in a 1 foot radius. Nice one. Emperor's right ball. Very nice. So this one's a little bit harder to come off, but I think we might be able to do it without using white spirits. So this is just dry makeup removers that we've been using. No white spirits on it, because we really haven't run into too much resistance with the enamel drying too quick. And if we do, a drop or two, and we are good to go. It'll wick away very easy. Never knit you. Hey mate, I thought you were away. I thought you were on holidays. Are you back? Welcome. Cool toy. Kid's toy, brah. Ah, mate, this is a toy for everyone. Dark Tide music would fit great on this. Great work, Paco. Yeah, if I could play music that wasn't copyright free, I definitely would be. But YouTube doesn't like that, unfortunately. There we go. That's decent enough for what we're after. And I do like enamel washes because they dry very matte as well. I find that oil washes you can get some really shiny areas, whereas the enamel wash seems to, for me anyway, dry quite matte, and I like that look. So let's go back to this dude. Give it another pass for any areas where we don't want it, we might have missed. And then we might do a bit of work on the smoke and the sword if everything's dry. I think that could be cool. How much do one of these guys cost? A box of 3 of these, I think, is about $100 dues here in Australia. So they're quite expensive. This is an expensive hobby, that is for sure. There is a couple of ones I just missed. So I'm going to do what I said, add a bit of odorless thinner. Drop or 2 here. And let's get that wiped away where we don't want it. It was on areas that were raised, not so much in the cracks, and we want them in the cracks, not on flat, high surfaces. So there we go. Should be good. Okay, let's work on this sword. So for those of you that may have not seen last time, we just did like a very simple sort of, you could call it non-metallic metal effect. It's not really, I'm not trying to make non-metallic metal, it's just like a shiny grey looking sword because it's kind of what it looks like on the box art. So we might try and do a similar effect on these guys. So I'm going to whip back out the wet palette. And I got to remember what I used. I think we used dark grey. Can't even remember. Bloody hell. I never write any of my recipes down. Whoopsie. I'm looking at a few comments here. So, how long did you wait until start using the makeup remover? The baby, probably like 3 minutes. If you went back on the stream, I don't know if you can. Yeah, it was like 3 minutes ago that we did it. And am I using the sponge to add the weathering or remove excess paint? We are removing excess paint with that. Oh, is Never Knit You Off? No worries, dude. Thank you so much for dropping by. You're a legend. And thank you for the kind comments, guys. You guys are very, very kind. I do appreciate you. Done a bit of a sloppy job here, but that's okay. I can always remove more when I see it with a bit of white spirits. Okay, so I think, let's try dark grey. I think that might have been a decent tone to begin with. And we want to, again, work quite thin for the base coat. Doesn't matter, but when we start wet blending, thin is key. Cool. Get a little base coat done. And I might kill two birds with one stone and try and do the base coat for this smoke as well. While we're at it. Ryan, got to jump for work. No worries, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, chuck us the updates in the chat, in the Discord. Love to see it. I want to see your completed works when you get there. And that just reminded me, for anyone that is interested, we have a little Discord going. I'm going to pop the link in the chat, but you can also join via the links in the description of the video and previous videos. Love to see you over there. It is very new, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So it's probably not the best Discord server you've ever been in, but YOLO. It's there if you want to hang out, see some work in progress pics, post your own, show off, post your own minis. That's what we want to have in there. Okay, so I might do the same base coats on this sword here, and then by the time this is done, we can go back to old mate with the smoking sword. There we go. I love it. So much heresy.
Where's the heresy, brothers?
Okay, so we had dark grey, now we need to just add little bits of white to them, and that will help build up our kind of non-metallic-y looking effect that we're going for the power sword type thing. Fuck, I can't talk today. I feel like I'm just mincing my words. Maybe it's getting late. So what you want to do, or what I like to do, is just pick out those sort of 3 different quadrants. So I start one side quite bright here, and I know that I want maybe like the middle to be kind of bright as well. So one dark, and then bright again, kind of like here. We're just kind of sketching out at this point, and then on the other side we do the opposite. So this will go bright where the dark is, and then kind of darker down here towards the end of the blade, like so. Doesn't need to be exact, but it just kind of helps make the effect look a bit cooler. And so on the other side as well, we will do that. Bright, it's kind of like a checkered pattern. Dark. Like so. And maybe bright again. And we might just have to go in with another coat, because it's not opaque enough yet. Kind of want to start with a nice opaque color. Opaque layer, I should say. And then we can start wet blending it in, glazing, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of a mix of all of those. And then I've got another commission piece, which I will work on later. Some of these dudes, I'll show you just a sneak preview. I'm kind of base coated at the moment. Jackals from the World Eaters. Like so. So that will be fun. But that is for another day, my friends. Not today, unfortunately. So now I'm going to make the tips and brightest areas of those areas of the sword. I'm going to just try and fill those in a little bit as well. Extra bright. Like so. You can always, it's not a perfect science, it's just a lot of back and forth until you get it right. So even that, you can kind of see it start to come together, even though it looks very blocky. That's fine, it will just start to blend in once we do that. You're returning, damn jackals, dead men. Where did you get the sponge brush that you used to remove the excess paint? Nathan, those makeup removers, and I bought like a pack of 200 for like a few dollars off Amazon. So yeah, give him a shot. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And Luke wouldn't mind if I accidentally forgot to turn the voice changer off. Hell yeah. Maybe. I'm conscious now, though. I can't accidentally do it this time. That was the special occasion. Oh, and hey Dagon, how are you? I didn't see you join the chat. You're good to see you, mate. Okay, so let's try and start blending this in now. We're going to go quite thin. Quite thin indeed. So as you know, I'm only using two colors. It's that dark gray and a white. And you just mix and match your tones to get darker and lighter variations. That's all it is. Just a lot of back and forth, back and forth. And nice thin paint. That is the key. Like this. Kind of just pushing around colored water. That's what it feels like. And you have to be a little bit patient, because if you start to push it around too much when it's starting to dry, you will actually do what a lot of people run into, and it's called tearing. You tear up the paint by accident, and it's really hard to repair. So try and avoid that at all costs. So that's why it's a bit time consuming. Jake, have I seen the Joy Toy Warhammer action figures? I certainly have. I've never picked one up. I wouldn't mind trying to repaint them at some point. And that could be a bit of a challenge. I've seen people do that before. It's like a giant model, giant painting project. So that could be quite fun. You're back after days. Dagon. Well, welcome back. And Paddock, what music am I listening to? I'm listening to Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Definitely, if you're looking at Stream Beats, I think all his music there is free. So you don't get any copyright strikes or whatever if you want to post to YouTube. So what an absolute legend he is. So yeah, check it out. That's what I use. Lots of cool beats there. Back and forth. As you can see, it kind of maybe went a bit too light there. But while the paint's wet, we can bring in some darker tones to help bring it back. Nice wet paint too, helps to blend it in. So starting to come together. If I do say so myself, I think we're getting some nice little blends here with, honestly, not too much work. Like, it comes out pretty decent for a fairly low time commitment, I would say. Like, it's I'm by no means anywhere near an expert when it comes to non-metallic metals. And as I said, I'm not really trying to make a non-metallic metal. It's kind of just like a grey power sword looking thing. But yeah, something I really want to work on is my non-metallic metals, because some of that stuff looks absolutely hectic. Angel wings, yeah. Oh yeah, 40k is awesome. Very much so. I could probably call it there on this side, because what we'll do when we edge highlight it as well, it will look like it'll really pop. You're back, dead man, and the sword looks good. Thank you. It's just bad there's no teeth spinning around it. Yeah. Yeah, these guys are a bit more refined in the art of slaying the enemies of the Emperor. Not as hacking, butchering as some other known chapters. This would look really nice if it was a column berserker. It would, Luke, I reckon. Umgak War Hamster. Hell yeah. Getting a bit of hobby time in. I'm glad he stumbled across us. We are hanging out, doing a little bit of wet blending at the moment, which is a bit time consuming. But hopefully you guys are learning a thing or two from this. Or if not, just enjoying the process. That's kind of what we always have to do, is just ride the waves. Trust the process. It's the most important thing, really. Because it looks like shit at some points. And that's when you're like, fuck, I messed it up. I'm not going to continue. But keep holding out, brothers. Hold out. Just trust. Trust in the Holy Emperor. I'm painting off screen, bruh. Why didn't someone tell me? Sorry, guys. That'll be. No one's gonna look at this side of the sword anyway. You're gonna look at it like this, not like this. So we don't need to spend as much time there. Okay, so let's highlight it now. I'm going to use pretty much pure white for the highlights, and let's see the difference. It will pop if I can get the highlights nice and not wreck them. Kind of just frames the sword, and it just makes the effect like really just come together once you add on these edge highlights. See, like that, starting to come together, and then when we put on this middle one, it really starts to come together. See? And then you can sort of see areas where you might want to improve, and you can just go back and refine if you really want to. But for us, it's okay. Don't need to go too crazy. There is a little bit here. We probably want to get these edges that are running around the skull. It's like a line of skulls on this sword. So let's try and get those edges too. Something like that. And you'll see a lot of people like to have like those little like scratch marks on their swords and stuff. you can do that too. I like to just water down the paint a little bit so it's a bit thinner than normal. Because that helps make it a bit transparent. And then you can just do a few little scratches like this if you want. You can just do like nice thin little scratch lines like that. Less is more though with this effect, like you don't really want to go too crazy with it. And if you go a bit too thick like that or bright, just add a bit of white paint. Oh, sorry, wet paint. Fuck, I can't even talk. You're not even adding paint, you're adding water. Bloody hell, Aaron. There we go, that's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, just add a bit of texture to the sword. Optional, you don't need to do any of that if you don't want to. But it's kind of what it looks like. Yep. Something like that. And let's just get the underside as well with the highlights. And then you can imagine doing this with like a red or an orange or a blue, green, whatever color you want. That's how you do like those colored power sword effects. Just swap out the colors. So instead of like obviously black and or dark gray and white, you'd go for like a orange and like a dark red if you wanted to, or something like that, to get like a flamey red looking sword. And we'll get this highlight here too. Doesn't matter if we hit the skulls because we can go in and touch them up. I'm really just doing this so I can get the edge highlight in there. But yeah, that's kind of what the sword looks like after... How long did that take us? Maybe 15? Maybe 20 minutes? I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of time. But yeah, that is the result. And I just noticed I might want to blend this section in just a tad. So let that go. The reds now, I want to get this guy close to finished. So I'm going to use Evil Sun's Scarlet, just as like a quick little highlight color on those red areas. Just pick out those details a little bit. And like, I find it helps, like I think the sword now is kind of like a feature of the model, like it kind of sticks out because we painted it to a better standard than some of the others. And that just helps elevate like your tabletop standard models. If you pick a few things, like if the model has like a really ornate shield, like things that will draw the eye, I think just help elevate if you spend that little bit more time on it. It just helps to just elevate the mini just that little bit more. Sorry guys, I should mute my microphone. Give me a sec. There we go. I'm not coughing in your ear. Lol. Soz. Oliver, do you thin the Evil Suns for highlights or straight out of the pot? Pretty much straight out of the pot. It's on my wet palette, so it kind of gets slightly thinned by just being on the palette, but not by much. I find with reds, if you thin them too much, they don't cover that well because they're already quite hard to cover as a paint, like color. Red doesn't cover extremely great. So if you can limit thinning them down, it's going to make life easier for you. Jeremiah Diaz. How would you recommend a beginner get started on the painting hobby? Mainly Black Templars for you, thank you. And my attention to detail is crazy. Thanks, dude. Black Templars, hey? Very cool army, by the way. It might be a bit challenging as a beginner because black is a notoriously hard color to paint, and so is white. Just because, obviously, they're on the different ends of the light spectrum. It can be hard when it comes to highlighting. If you want to have a look, I've actually made a few videos on how I paint black on my TikTok. So it might be worth checking out if you've got TikTok, jumping on there. I've got an airbrush version and I've got a paintbrush version. So whatever way you've started, it's like a quick and easy way to paint black. So for your Black Templars, it might be worth checking out because that's probably going to be 99% of the army is going to be black armor. And yeah, that's probably the best way. And the way that I painted this black was super quick too. It didn't take long. So definitely worth checking out. Lochran, yo dude, how are ya? What's crack-a-lackin'? Luke out there, shout out to you, drumming up the likes. You're a legend. Okay, so that's the red done there. I think what we can do is maybe add a couple of highlights here on the leather parts. Just using some of the XV88 that we still have on our palette. Like so. Oliver has a full Blood Angels combat patrol built, but I've put off painting it for weeks. Bite the bullet, my friend. Get in there. Start painting. There's no other way. It's going to get color on it. It's going to take the time to do so. Chuck on a lore video or something. Help get you hyped up for it. That's what I do. Listen to Warhammer lore. It gets me hyped for painting. Okay, so we can probably start highlighting up this smoke now as well. So we're going to use the same color mix, kind of like the sword, but obviously it's not going to be non-metallic metal looking, so we don't need to worry about the wet blending. We can kind of just layer this up. And it might chuck a wash over it as well. Justin, what have you used as the armor on the Inner Circle Companion? We've used over a black primer. I think it was Chaos Black that I used. Can't remember. Sounds about right. We use Vallejo Charcoal. This one here. Through an airbrush. And then reddish grey. With a little bit mixed in to get some volumetric highlights, and then we edge highlighted with reddish grey. think you could glaze the sword with a bit of dark sea blue to get the blue steel color if you want. That's true. If I want to get a bit of color into that, true. Could even do a bit of like a dark greeny, like it's reflecting some stuff as well. Potentially. I'll have a think about that. Not sure. I'll ask for the client, see what he wants to do. He will have final say on what he wants the finished job to look like. Thanks, Jeremiah. Chicken strips. What paintbrushes am I using? I am using Raphael Kalinsky Sable paintbrushes. I'm using sizes 0 and size 1. Size 0 is the one that I use the most, if you're interested. They're fantastic paintbrushes. I would highly recommend them to anyone looking to invest in some high quality paintbrushes. Just make it a little bit lighter. Some areas. Let's make it pop. Might not even need a wash at this stage. Kind of just built up the shadows naturally without highlighting. Cool. There we go. Can I borrow some tech, brother? Get out of here, mate. You're not stealing nothing. Luke, did I have a good day off work? I sure did, mate. Thank you for asking. I played Battlefield for hours and hours. Did a bit of housework, went to the gym. I didn't get to Muay Thai today. I slacked off on that. I should have went to Muay Thai, but yeah, it's alright. Maybe another time. So I'm pretty happy with how this guy is looking. I think what I might do is just quickly edge highlight the purity seals, because they kind of lost a little bit of their flair when we put on the wash, which is to be expected. Dark Knight Yin. What am I using? Citadel or Army Painter? Neither at the moment. For what you were just watching, that was AK Interactive. I've swapped to Citadel now for this Wraithbone color, but I use all different types. I use Citadel, AK Interactive, Vallejo, Pro Acryl, Scale 75. I don't limit myself to a certain paint range. I just kind of use whatever I feel like will do the job that I'm trying to achieve. Yeah, Luke, it sure was. Was indeed. I indulged. What about you? How was your day, mate? Another one. Joseph, do you have any salamanders? This is crazy, the amount of people that ask about salamanders in my chat. Absolutely insane. I feel like I need to paint one up just because so many people ask. So Joseph, no I don't, unfortunately. I don't have any salamanders. I've never actually painted a salamander in my entire life. But I think that has to change. I might paint one up and just like, so I can show you guys, all you Salamander fans in the chat. Appease you. I thought that it's bad to mix different brands as colors would have a reaction to each other. No, Dark Knight, not at all. They're all acrylic paints. Not sure where you heard that from. Definitely not bad at all. The only problems you'll run into with mixing paints is if they're like a different base. So acrylic paints don't mix with oil paints, for example, because the acrylic are water-based and oils are oil-based paints, for example. And same with enamels. They need different mediums. Like you need white spirits if you're working with oils and enamels, and you can use water when you're working with like hobby acrylic paints. So you can mix and match as you like. Giga Chad, hey dude, how are ya? You're just in time. But I don't know if you were last time late, but I'm probably only streaming for another 10 minutes. I'll probably go to around about 12:30 because I started a bit late. I was too busy playing Battlefield today. We might have a chance. I'll see if I can paint the eyes on stream. They're always a fun one when they're in the hoods here. Trying to paint on stream and not mess up. It's nigh impossible. Just because it's in the hood and that's not even fucking working. Try again. It's way too hard. The hoods are just my Achilles heel, trying to get the paintbrush in there on stream. It ain't working. I might have to do this off stream, so I can hold it right up to my face. What I might do is quickly edge highlight a bit of his helmet here. I just noticed it's missing a bit, so let's add a little bit there. Cool. Rogue Reaver, what are we painting? We're painting a Dark Angel's Inner Circle Companion, and we've painted up a few of these already. I think this is a completed one here. So that's kind of what it will look like. It's getting mighty close, but that is what we're painting at the moment. Charlie. Joseph, sorry, before that, you're painting a Salamander right now? Hell yeah, dude. And Charlie, you think it's possible painting Dark Angels with AK Quick Gen? I'm not sure what Quick Gen is. I don't know if I've come across that. Is that like a speed paint range that AK does? Pilk, how many Dark Angels did the guy commission? I think I've got 20 models of his to paint, give or take. And Luke, good day for you. Chemical register at work. I'm in gas and flame detection. Ooh, spicy. So it's quite a project. Very nice, dude. But Dark Knight, how do you paint the eyes? Because I heard they're hard to do. Dude, you saw I couldn't fucking paint this on stream. So not great. They are hard. But I mean, this one here, I'll show you. This is a recent model I did for a tutorial that I put together. But really, all you need to do, the way that I paint lenses anyway, is a dot of white paint either side, let it dry, and then I come in with like an ink or a watered down paint whatever color that I want the lenses to look like, and you just flood the eye area, and that's the result. It's like a quick and easy glow effect, you could say. And like I did the same here with the yellow on this guy here. So yeah, you can just play around with it. Blue as well on these guys, like so. See if you can see his lenses. There we go. See? Dot of white, blue, same thing there, and then obviously oversell effect on his gun. And you can probably see it a bit more better here, like so. But yeah, that's hard. It's even harder though, obviously, to paint pupils like on this guy. The trick that I find if anyone's painting bare heads is, yeah, I paint the white first, and then I flip the head upside down, and I try and get the pupil by pulling towards like this, like the pulling motion like we do with edge highlighting. I find it easier than trying to jam your brush in from the front. I don't know, it could work well for you, but that's just how I paint those guys. It's a speed paint, Charlie. Look, it could work. I'm just not too sure. I'm not familiar with that particular type. But I mean, they're designed for it, so I think you'd be fine either way. Thanks, dude. We Be Our Emperor. Grey favorite 40k novel. I don't read, bro. Sorry, I tried. If it doesn't have pretty pictures, I lose interest. So I don't have a favorite 40k novel. Sorry. All right. Well, enough yapping. Let me keep painting, so you've got something to watch. So we'll go in with a highlight of Peridot Alchemy on the gold, just to make it pop. A little bit more. So this is the paint, if you're wondering. Peridot Alchemy. Scale 75. Good paint. Durant. Hey dude, any idea on which brand does the best fluorescent pink color? I'm trying to do bright pink plasma for my Emperor's children. This is the only one I own, and it works very well. Acid pink, scale 75, fluor color. Give that one a shot. Let me know how you go. And what you can do as well is you can add like a fluoro orange, and you can add white and pink to it, and it will still be kind of fluoro. So you can kind of cheat and make your own fluoro colored mix by adding normal acrylic paints to a different colored fluoro paint. Chris, thank you, dude. Thank you, I appreciate that. Grey, damn, I only read, no painting or tabletop, lol. Yeah, look, I don't listen to the audiobooks either, but I listen to lore channels. Like, I really like the lore, but because I really enjoy painting, I'd rather be painting than reading. So, best of both worlds is I get to listen to the lore and stuff while I paint. That's how I kind of enjoy the hobby. Can't forget about these skulls here. We need to paint those gold as well. But while I'm got the highlight color, we'll just do that for now. Blood Raven. Have I done Blood Ravens before? Only when I was a kid. Only when I was a kid. I haven't painted any since getting back into the hobby a few years ago. But I would like to, because I enjoyed the Blood Ravens from Dawn of War. I thought they were a really cool chapter when I was a kid. Haley, my brother loves this stuff. Hell yeah, your brother's a legend. This stuff is sick. Okay, so it's just made that armor pop just that little bit more. Edge highlights like literally make or break a model. That's for sure. What's your favourite Space Marine chapter, Chris? I can't pick favourites because I like them all. I like painting them all. But I do tend to lean towards Blood Angels and their successors, like Flesh Terrors and stuff. Something about it. I like painting red. That's why I like my Khorne Berserkers, just like Luke does. Ah, thanks, Haley. Yeah, tell him to come over, say hello. Sanguinius would be proud of your painting. Thanks, Squared Guy. Thank you. What faction did I start with? Split Sith. Split Sith. Interesting name. I'm struggling to say it. I started with Necrons. Necrons were my gateway into the Warhammer world. I saw the creepy looking skeleton dudes on the shelf in my local Warhammer. And I said, yes, that will be my army. And the rest was history. At the time, it was a $150 box set, and that came with a heap of models. Was it $150? Maybe it was $100. I don't know. It was cheap. It was back when the paint pots were like black and they were thick, kind of like hexagonal shaped. What a time. What a time to be alive. And I had a monolith and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like it was so cool. Have I painted a Tyranid before, Blood Raven? I was painting one up with my girlfriend actually, and I don't have one because I was not happy with it. I just kind of stopped because I got the Leviathan box set, but this is what my girlfriend painted up, her first ever mini. And this is her little Tyranid that she painted, which I think she did a great job. Like look at, she's done like recess shading with purple, blending, and edge highlighting. Look at that. How good. Yeah, I think I was messing around with something like this. Just trying to... I just haven't landed on a color scheme for Tyranids. I thought like ghostly, I don't know. But I also want to look like bright bug effects, like bright orange or something. I don't know, would be cool. But yeah. Haley, your brother loves angels something. That's what he likes. There's a few angels in this game. Dark angels, blood angels, angels resplendent or something like that. There's a lot of them. But that's all good. Split Sith, have I ever made my own Space Marine chapter? Yes, actually. I've been painting these dudes up. Who... I think someone named in the chat, we've called spectral ghosts for now. And I made a video the other day, so they're also doubling down as the poop marines, because a lot of people commented that these rust streaks look like shit, literally, which I didn't see it at the time. I kind of can understand where they're coming from, but people will be people. So I made a little video on it, actually, taking the piss out of myself, which was good fun. But yes. Yeah, the first mini, what am I doing? Nah, she's a creative one. She knows, she's good at arts and crafts, so it comes naturally to her. I'm just looking at this. I think this guy is pretty much done except for his lenses, which I'm going to have to unfortunately do off screen. It's just, yeah, too hard to try and get it in there on stream. But I will show you when he's fully done. I'm probably going to have to wrap it here, guys. Been going for quite some time, and I do have to get to bed. It's nearly 20 to 1 in the morning, so I'm getting a little bit tired. But I'm going to read through these comments here while while I have a look before I sign off. Alright, Lord Bloodhound. God, I wish I had the time or the money to do plastic crack. That is 40k. Are you active duty? Oh, well done. Averaging very little energy to do it anymore, or money. Yeah. Look, maybe once you get back, when you return, and you've got more time up your sleeves, you get back into it, mate. It'll always be here for you. Thank you, Slim Richmond. Appreciate it. Dark Angels. Sounds about right, Haley. I think for that, using like tan highlights would really make it pop. Hot glue needs to create that blood and gore splatter effects. Yes, Luke, this is what I want to get my hands on, which I did. I bought them, but I want to actually put them into practice. Is the new dirty down effects, the dirty down gore and the dirty down snot effects. So I don't have to use the glue and then paint it. It comes kind of pre-mixed, ready to go. That is what I'm at the time. It didn't exist when I painted that Tyranid, so it's quite new. So I want to get into it. But yeah, is there some line work for the cloak? It's very subtle. The camera's probably not picking it up, so probably tweak that a little bit. It should look a little bit more like this. I think maybe because we changed the wash, it killed it a little bit, so I can go in and touch that up, but that's kind of what we're going for. What's been your favorite lore you listened to? From Jake. I think Warhammer does some really good lore readings. I like his kind of grimdark horror stories. I couldn't pinpoint one of them, but the grimdark horror stories are really nice to listen to when I'm painting. They're just like random stories that are not necessarily about like space marines or stuff. They're just like on a random backwater planet, but they're Warhammer adjacent. It's really cool. I like it. Out of all the chapters, what dreadnought did you like and love the most? I do like the Blood Raven, the Blood Angels, like ones back in the day. Forge World used to make really cool ones, and same with some of the Chaos ones, like a Nurgle dreadnought. They looked really cool. Or the Black Templars dreadnought. Hell yeah, that was the one. Before you go, any tips for painting for a beginner? I've been painting a while, but I haven't gotten good yet. Split Sith. I mean, it's hard to say when there's not like specific things that you're like struggling with that I know of yet. But I guess just in general, like people will tell you thin your paints. Absolutely correct. Make sure you just practice your brush control. So I do practice models every now and again if I want to try and get better. I'll just pick out random models and just pick something that you want to improve on. Like, is it you want to work on the gold, for example, and working with metallics whilst painting a mini? Like, just try and focus on a particular area of a model For me, like faces, I'm still not that great with them. I will sometimes just do random leftover faces and paint them for a bit of practice. So practice makes perfect. And experiment, just mixing colors and coming up with your own recipes, I think is quite important, because then you're not limited to particular recipes. Like I'll just look at something I see online, and then I will go, I think I can match that color with the colors that I've got here, and just go for it. But yeah, have fun at the end of the day, particularly as a beginner. Like that's the main thing. We want you to stay in the hobby. And the way to do that is to enjoy what you're doing. So yeah, don't get burnt out. Don't worry about perfection. It'll come, because like this is where I started. This is when I was like 13, maybe, when I painted this. And as I said to someone else on the stream, they keep you give your first models. This isn't my first one, but it's close enough, as I don't know where my actual first model is. But it was from a long time ago, and like it just goes to show like how far you progress. So I had a big break after that, and then I came back, and this was the first model I painted back when I started Warhammer again, like 3 years ago. Like when I look at that to then some of the models that I paint these days, like the improvement is crazy. So, and that helps me if I feel like I'm a shit painter. Sometimes you're like, everyone has that at some point, but you just like look back at your old minis and you go, actually, look how far I've come. So don't be too hard on yourself, is I guess what I'm trying to say. As a beginner, you've got to start somewhere. So yeah, Haley, you're off. Any suggestions on colors for Spacefield, Prince of Darkness? I am not too sure. I showed earlier in the stream that I've bought my own box of Wolfguard head takers the other day, which I'm doing a bad job showing. These bad boys here. So I will do some experimenting, because I don't know how I'm going to paint them up yet. And once I've done that, maybe pop back and ask me, and I might have a better answer for you. Where's Hammer? Indeed, yeah. It's good. What's your favourite guardsman regiment? I'd have to say Cadian. Cadian guardsmen. Purple eyes. Those guys are legit. Love them. And I also do, yeah, I don't know their actual regiment, but that's one of the only ones I know, to be honest. But I think they're cool. Thanks, Ion Wib. Ion Wib. Appreciate it. Aussie SJ. Funny. That's it. I'm just having a look here. I'm in US Army, but yeah, I want to do Zinch mainly now. Lord Bloodhound. Hell yeah, dude. Good shit. Prince of Darkness. He wants some inspiration. Get the Citadel Colors app and search High Fleet Unknown. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. If you want inspo, the Colors app could help. I also find looking like online, like on Pinterest, like a Stormy Scene palette, and if you type palette after that, it comes up with like cool color palettes to look at. Just could be worth checking out. All right, a couple more questions and I'm going to have to head off, unfortunately. So Outlaw Ghost, hey man, I'm new here. Sorry to everyone, but can you explain Warhammer in the most simple way possible? I like to get into it, but it seems very deep and complicated to understand. That is a big can of worms on one that I probably don't have time to answer. In short, it is the best hobby you'll ever get into. The universe is filled with deep lore. Space Marines, humans upgraded to superhuman status, never-ending war, xenophobia, corpse emperor, chaos, spiky bits, and demons.
That's all for now, brother.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to head. Thank you very much for sticking around for so long. I do appreciate that we're here hanging out. We got decent way along. But Outlaw Coast, honestly, if you really want to get into it, look up like Warhammer, Major Kill on YouTube. They're lore channels and they're really cool. They I guess make it an easy to digest format, and they've got like literally where to begin with Warhammer in terms of the lore, and that's the best way to get into it, I reckon. All right, guys, thank you very much. Enough of me yapping along. Take care, peace, happy hobbying. I will see you all next time. Adios. Ciao.